What we're looking at today is the damage assessment and damage awareness of potatoes in grading lines. Two fundamental things that we must bear in mind. One is how we drop the potato or look after it, and one is the flow of the potato. Really, we don't want to be dropping the potato much more than 8 to 10 inches. And the more the crop is kept together and forms a flow, the better it will go through the machine and then reduce the damage. And really, as a rule of thumb, if you can hear it, it's damaging the crop. In conjunction with the Potato Council, we've come up with 8 points to reduce damage in the grading process. So the first point we want to look at within the grading line really is the trailer itself and the crop that's in there, and then transferring them into the hopper. An important thing is that the trailer must be the right trailer for the job. It must not be too high or too low, otherwise again when the trailer is tipped it's going to damage the crop. The fall into the hopper needs to be kept to a minimum, and the hopper wants to have a good solid sides with some rubber around it to protect the crop from falling out on the floor, which is obviously going to damage. And then it keeps all the crop in the same place, and it's important that the tractor driver that's doing it looks at what he's doing and doesn't tip the trailer too hard into the back of the hopper, because that will crush and damage the potatoes. Point 2 is the actual tipping of the boxes or the crop into the hopper. You can do this with a fork truck and a rotator. You do need to keep the drops to an absolute minimum and make sure that when you turn the box that you don't actually scuff the potatoes that are already in there. Point 3 is a transfer of the potatoes from the hopper into the cleaner. What we're looking for is a nice flow of potatoes, nothing too vicious. We put a transfer roller in there so that the crop lowers from the hopper down onto that and then gently into the cleaner. And really you want to keep a nice flow. You don't want single potatoes bouncing around on there. What we're looking to do is to get the machine as aggressive as we can, but without damaging the crop. So it's important that the farmer looks at the crop, looks at the soil that's coming through, and then sets his machine accordingly. And if there's no need to be aggressive in the cleaning, he backs it off and then just gently takes the crop over. What you have on there is probably a metal screen, and it's important that the screen itself is not damaged. If it is, obviously it's going to damage the crop. The speed of the screen needs to be matched with the flow of the crop and the agitation. So the more agitation, generally the better the grading, but you don't want to bounce it that much that you're actually damaging the crop on the way through. Again, it's important, keep the flow of potatoes constant and set it to the conditions for that day. The next point is the inspection table. Whether you've got one person or 8 people there, again the important thing is keep the flow from the screen to the inspection table, keep it nice, keep the drops to a minimum. Run the belt speed at the right speed for what the crop is and what the people can cope with. Most tables would have some sort of turning roller in there so that it's turning the crop over. It's important to see the other side of it should it be damaged, and again match the speed to what the situation is. 2 different types of box filler really on the market for the farmer. One where the box is lifted up to the crop, and the other one where the actual box sits on the floor and is lowered down. Fundamentally it's the same. You need to keep your drops to a minimum and make sure that again you've got a nice flow. On the ones that are lowering down like we've seen today, it's important that you look at the sensors and make sure that the drop height is again kept to a minimum, and that as the box falls it all works nice and smoothly. If it's set up wrong, you're going to damage your crop. It's also very important on both types of machine that you don't overfill your box. If the box is too full, when they're stacked on top of each other, because the fork truck driver can't see it, it's going to scuff them and you're damaging what you've looked after so far. Important things are that the crop that comes off the grader is then transferred gently into a conveyor. The drops are kept to a minimum, that there's some rubber flaps there just to control the fall if there's a need to do that. Then the transition from the conveyors to the elevator again is kept to a minimum, so that when you're moving the elevator in and out you're keeping all the flow right. Some elevators now you're able to control separately with a remote control. It's important that that man fully understands what he's doing and keeps again the crop in the right place in the store. He doesn't get the store too high, otherwise you'll get compact damage in the store, and that he also keeps the layering of the crop and keeps the falls to a minimum. Everybody's worked very hard all year to look after these potatoes, to bring them carefully out the field, through the harvesters, through the grading machines, into the store or into the lorry. It's important that you look after your machinery, it's well maintained, you keep all your drops to a minimum, and match all the speeds of your different types of equipment. For more information on what we've been looking at today, you can look at the Potato Council's Damage Awareness booklet, or as manufacturers, we're more than happy at any point for the customer to contact us to see if there's anything we can do to help him reduce his damage.